Welcome to Inside Assemble AI, where AI, deep tech, and science meet storytelling. I'm Sam Day, and this is another episode called AI Music Revolution from Lawsuit to Licensing Deals.
And I'm Mac Goswami. Today we are diving into AI and music, and it's been a wild ride in 2025. And Sam, if I remembered correctly, we never did anything in any of our episodes AI with music. So I think this is I'm too much excited about this episode, anyways.
That's correct. This is a very unique episode that we are bringing forth for our listeners. And just to piggyback on the wild ride, I would say wild is an understatement. We have seen everything from 500 million lawsuits to billion-dollar licensing deals.
Right.
The music industry, they went from trying to shut down AI music generators to partnering with them in less than a year.
Yeah.
So with all these controversies going on, we are really excited to dive deep into that in this episode.
Absolutely, Sam. Let's start with the key players here in this AI music industry. The first name that it came to my mind is Suno. And the second thing is that Udio. So these are the two companies that changed everything. Suno, I think, just raised 250 million at a $2.45 billion valuations. They are generating 7 million songs daily. And if I remember correctly, I literally have seen a lot of YouTube videos out there. There are a lot of written articles about their, different people from music industry. They are using Suno almost on daily basis.
Yeah, can you imagine 7 million songs daily?
Absolutely.
That's a Spotify-sized catalog every 2 weeks. It's
Right.
really insane. What do you think?
Absolutely, Sam. And I think it's totally insane. And these are not just a random noise. These are the complete songs with vocals, lyrics, instrumentals. Professional musicians are using them in the writing sessions. And also it is going to help a lot of students who doesn't have the right infrastructure, who doesn't know, who don't even have a lot of capabilities with different instruments. So they can simply, swing in, they can install that app, and they can do millions of things with AI singing.
Yeah, and it's also getting support from some of the well-known CEOs in the music industry. For example, the Recording Academy CEO Harvey Mason Jr. said recently that every songwriter and producer he knows has used Suno now. That's a stunning admission. And again, I wanted to tell my listeners that we are not against creativity, and AI is not taking away the human creativity here. But it's more of like amplifying human creativity to a different territory that probably we never gone into in the past.
Absolutely, Sam. And what's fascinating is how quickly this normalized, right? 2 years back, if you would have told me that professional songwriters would be opening up AI tools when they're completely stuck, I wouldn't have even believed it, right? Now, with Suno and with Udio, you have a lot of potentials out there. It could be I have that options, I have songs in my mind, but I never got a tool that where I can write my songs. Or now I already wrote the song, but where I do not know how to tune in. I do not know how to put music on it. You can literally put variety of musics, variety of different melody with just in one app. So I think it's changing the game in the music industry.
Yeah, that's correct. But even with any innovation, it's always there'd be some pushbacks. And we have
Yeah.
seen some lawsuits around this AI innovation.
Mhm.
Like, for instance, back in summer 2024, Sony, Universal, and Warner Studios sued both these companies for $500 million because they accused these companies that they trained on copyrighted music without permission. Fast forward, by late 2025, instead of fighting, they started cutting deals. Udio settled with Universal and Warner, but had to pivot completely from generate any song to a fan engagement platform for remixing licensed music only. So that's a huge leap forward. The companies they used to accuse them for stealing proprietary ideas and stuff, now cutting deals with them. That's really massive. And I think the same thing happened with Suno, right, Mac?
Absolutely. And I think, but in much better terms. So they keep their core service, but must use license training data and change for downloads. They had more leverage, bigger, better funded, and superior tech. The labels realize that they can stop it. So control it through licensing. And if you think in that way, that everything's when any tools or any particular industry will come for an innovations, so there of course there will be a side effect. It's anyways it is going to be true. So and they are not the exceptional case anyways, right?
That's true because, like I mentioned before, every innovation would have its own pros and cons. And sometimes we do receive some backlash, some pushback on that because people are not so receptive to change, right? But let's talk about what these tools actually do. Like, especially for listeners who haven't tried them, what's the experience like? Let me start and then Mac, you can jump on.
Yep.
For listeners who wants to try Suno or Udio, it's kind of like using ChatGPT, but just for generation of music. Like you type a text prompt, like let's say upbeat indie rock about chasing dreams, or melancholic piano ballad, and then you hit generate. And what this tool will do that 30 seconds later, you have a complete 2 to 4 minute song with vocals, lyrics, instrumentation. You can also take some of your old classics or your favorite songs and kind of play with the prompt to see how they can make a Pink Floyd song or Linkin Park song to a different level. Again, we are not diminishing the human creativity here. The whole songs, their quality been preserved. We are just trying to regenerate something totally out of the box using AI and see how it being receptive to the music community. And the quality, for that, I would just pass it on to Mac because he already tried a couple of these tools.
So in terms of quality, it's shockingly good. These are estimates. 97% of people can't tell the difference between AI generated and human made music. And on top of it, Sam, if you see the effort before AI, before all this music related AI tools like Suno Udio, you imagine one world that where everything you have to literally install a lot of softwares, you have a lot of instruments to do all these stuffs. Right now they are making 2 to 4 minutes. Think in that way, within 2 to 4 minutes, they are almost doing a production completely. It's just equivalent to a regular production generated song, right? I mean, if you can compare in such a way that it's totally game changing thing. I mean, think in that way that someone is completely doing the production of the song, and how many instruments or how many, literally so many things like they will have to purchase. Even I remember that for my daughter that I went to a guitar shop and they have told me that they have given me a list of things like the entire sets. So I told them, like, we have those kind of AI tools, like literally we can produce the song and we can literally add the music on it, just a matter of few minutes. So initially they didn't completely understand because I mean, they're kind of old school, but even when I have shown them, and they were kind of surprised. I mean, that is the result. Amazing.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I mean, as someone like me who had pretty much vested interest in music, I mean, the question that, coming back at my head is that are we going to call it artistry or is just pressing buttons? I know that's the question everyone is asking, but here's my take here. Writing meaningful lyrics is hard. Having taste to select the right AI generations is hard too. Because at the end of the day, you're also utilizing your human intellect to come up with the prompt. And you're just asking AI to write it for yourself. So at the end of the day, we are not keeping aside human creativity. We're just amplifying it. Because at the end of the day, building an audience is hard with the tasteful music. Is there any way if we can accelerate that using AI? A musician should take it. So now, Mac, I'm going to ask you that from a traditional musicians, think about what they're thinking. I mean, how they're responding to that.
So there are mixed reactions. The first thing is that who are more in the favor of innovation, right? Who who likes really creativity, who doesn't have much time. Maybe they are into their
Mhm.
jobs or they are into something, but at the same time, like they have that passion for music. That group, particularly, they are very much fond of Suno, Udio, all this kind of like, this kind of evolution, right? So because they know how difficult for them, especially like the working professional, they do not have much time for them. But at the same time, like, there are people like who are mostly traditional. I mean, they are extremely serious about music. They are, like very hardcore about music. So they still, it's all about mindset. They still think that, since it's AI generated, there are, a lot of artificial stuffs are actually involved. And, they actually are losing the creativity. This group believes that this actually losing the creativity of the real music. So authenticity of the
Correct.
music. It's
Mhm.
true partially. I mean, at the same time, right? So every coin, like they have pros and cons.
Yeah. No, totally agree with you. Now, I mean, if we can talk about the business models and how do those vocalists or the real lyricists make money while respecting copyright. So here's my take here is that the opt-in is the key here. Like songwriters, lyricists, or any music artist, they can decide if their work can be used for training AI or not. All right holders must agree or the song can't be used. Matter close, right? Because we are not forcing music writers, songwriters, or an artist to use Suno or Udio because it's totally up to them whether they want to opt in or they want to opt out, right? Now, there are certain things I've seen recently about the training data massively and some players coming into the picture like 11 Labs and stuff. So, what's your take on Mac? Some of these new tools emerging in the music industry, not only just Suno and Audio, but we've seen some revolution in 2025. So if you want to like speak a little bit about some of those other toolkits and players coming into the picture.
Yeah. So, um, first of all, before going to the tool, like I would say some of the other stuff also, like using these tools, like what are the advantages? I have seen that there is literally a new professions coming out of these new AI tools. So there are a lot of freelancers now in the market. They are actually coming up that they can do this music for you, like only just a very basic knowledge about the music stuff. Someone who doesn't have any time, so they can hire those professionals like who knows that AI tools,
Uh-huh.
like for example, Suno, Udio, all these tools, like so they are actually hiring those professionals to do that. So I would say that it's also a kind of a new, it's a emerging professions as well, like fixing the production of a complete album, or a complete songwriting stuff. So initially, what happened, if you even think the picture for several years back, that where someone will have to literally to contact a production house or hire some professional songwriter. Everything was pretty much manual and everything was pretty much traditional. But if you see now, what happens is, even if you do not have the time, you can hire someone, maybe, who is on maybe Upwork, who is on Fiverr. They just do how to use that Suno and Udio or few other, that related AI stuff, who can literally do it for you. And it's just a matter of 24 hours to 72 hours. It just depends on the project. So that's, I mean, it's amazing, so you are also creating employment through these AI tools, right? So you are democratizing the entire industry in this way. So that's I mean, that's like game changing for me completely.
Yeah, but I mean, one thing I wanted to add here is that yes, we are definitely allowing access to the music to, like a broader group, broader demographic. But again, these AI tools are not coming into the picture, compromising the quality, right? At the end of the day, an artist, a songwriter can always make their judgment call to ensure that whether that song that AI generated is a crap or is something they can use, right? So we are not taking human out of the picture, but rather we are kind of like enabling people outside of the music industry or people who has passion to do something in the music but never had that expertise to do that can also utilize AI and maybe just use their creativity to come up with something, right? So I think that's where the democratization coming into the picture. And one more
Absolutely.
thing I wanted to add here, especially the live music. I feel like the live music is going to be more valuable and the real artists and songwriters can still use the live music platform to show their authenticity and creativity. Right, Mac? What do you think? And what do you think how this music industry would evolve with the utilization of AI 5 years from now? Just to kind of wrap up this conversation.
Absolutely. So, in terms of live music, I would say live would become more valuable. Musicians already make most money from touring, not recording,
Correct.
and this accelerates that trend. That is the number one thing. And for where does this go? I would say in next 5 years, I would say it's superstar human artist with devoted fans. So AI background music for content and ads. And I would say it's most of hybrid middle human creativity augmented by AI. So in another sense, I would call it that we can have a shift. So few of the few times already that I mentioned earlier. Even Sam, few years back, you cannot even imagine that someone will have their own. They will run their production house without even having any instrument, right? And without even having it's not even like it's out of the question completely. Now someone can have just a very basic knowledge. Someone can have like create just a production company with those kind of tools. I mean, again, that's definitely a question that that are we losing authenticity? Of course, like I will leave it up to the audience or especially who are the music professional. But the way I see it, that it is definitely for in terms of job creation, we would see there are a lot of potentials, different aspects. It will come out 5 years from now. The way we are doing the recording, that will also change. Also, as I mentioned, for the production house, we will see there are a lot of production houses. These will also be formed. And you can also imagine that I think it's already there. We are just not seeing this, and it will come more that AI generated avatar as a music artist. So I can literally create one AI music artist, female, male, whatever I want, and I can literally create a complete album just by AI. So I think, of course, I mean, that will be a threat for the real musicians, real artists. But if we put aside, but that will be really a revolutionary thing that someone can literally, with the implementing of AI, someone can just create an artist, AI artist with a vocal. And at the same time, he or she can also create albums as well. Everything generated by AI.
Yep. I totally agree with you. I mean, music industry will evolve further. It is going to use AI not as a tool, but it's also kind of be a part of the identity of the songwriters and lyricists. And they can create their own AI avatars who can play music and probably just, run a live music show in a virtual world. Who knows? So the technology, which was like far fetched, exists now, whether we need to adapt or we need to struggle. This has been a fascinating conversation. I hope our listeners got a sneak peek about what's going on in the music industry with the advent of AI. And we will see this music industry is being transformed before our eyes from lawsuit to licensing, from resistance to collaboration. We're still in the early innings, but thanks for listening to Assemble AI for this very intriguing topic. The AI music revolution is happening whether you're ready or not. Until next time, keep creating. Thank you.
Thank you.